R2D2, where are you? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Welcome to the Resistance broadcast, everybody. I'm John Hoey. Thank you so much for joining us today, letting us be a part of your day or weekend or whenever you're listening or watching to us. Welcome. The Resistance base is open to all. So yes, later on we're going to have a discussion about R2D2 and why is he missing from all the posters, leaked posters, murals, teasers, everything we've seen so far from the Rise of Skywalker. No R2. We're going to get down to why we think that may be the case. But before that, we should say hello to James Bainey and Lacey Gillerin. Guys, welcome back. How are you? Have you gotten the Sith Troopers out of your system yet? I have a feeling we may talk about them a little more tonight, but how you doing?
John, did you just ask, how are you two?
Oh, because of R2? Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Flicking the jab,
Lacey, how's
trying
that?
it out.
Is that tap water, Lacey?
It is.
Wow.
Is it filtered?
Yes.
I thought it was clear blue milk, like Pepsi. Remember Pepsi Clear back in the day?
It's
Do you
called
remember
Blue
that?
Clear.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you. Can't wait to talk about Star Wars.
Yes, indeed. We're here for all that hot-hitting kickoffs to our show, like talking about tap water and things like that. But one thing that we do have to say is that the will of the Force is back, baby! We can finally say that officially because last week we started our new our new segment, One with the Force. But we are bringing back Will of the Force this week, and the man who runs down those topics is James Bainey. So James, let's bring on Cheer It.
I fear nothing, for all this, as the Force wills it.
This week I should have had Jar Jar introduce it so he could say, Misa back, baby.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
Misa back,
Baby.
baby. Oh, actually, I have a good story about this. Somebody said something about Will of the Force coming back, and I was going to say it's back, baby on Twitter. And then I was like, oh, let me search for a GIF that's like a baby, right? And then I was like, oh, maybe I could find one with like it turned with its head, and you see it's back, and I'd be like, it's back, baby. So I searched for baby back, all ribs. So I was like,
Really?
I just give up. It was just all ribs.
Why was it all ribs?
Baby back
Baby
ribs.
back ribs.
I don't know what that is.
Baby back.
Chili's baby back ribs.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
What?
He has to be joking. Right?
You have to be joking.
I am.
I was going to say, that's a big thing in the office when Michael goes to Chili's for that meeting.
I know. It's also a big thing in Chili's for those commercials for the last 30 years. So.
Yeah, Chili's theme and promotional material have done well for Chili's, actually, surprisingly. All right.
Lacey just gave me that face of that kid who's like annoyed in the GIF with the yellow t-shirt. She just gave me that face. So there we go.
Hey, Will of the Force. All right, first one up this week. We got 6 questions, actually, so let's get through them. 2 of them from patrons.
5.
5?
That's okay, though.
I see
Yeah.
5. I see 6. I'm counting 6. Oh, no, I see what you did. 5 questions. All right, will the next Star Wars streaming series, regardless of what it is, be announced when the service goes live? So Disney Plus coming out soon. When it goes live, are we going to get another big announcement to the next Star Wars streaming television series? Lacey, you're up first on this one. What do you think? We're going to get it?
No, I don't think they're going to announce something when the streaming service goes live. I think they're either going to announce it prior or after. I don't think when it happens because they're going to want people to pay attention to the content that's already on there. So no.
All right,
they
John,
will
what do
not.
you think?
I think they absolutely will. And I'm
Will?
just going, yes. And it could be, a day or two around it, but right when it launches, yes.
That's not. No, the question is when it launches.
So
You're lying.
I think that they will do this because it's
Controversy.
around the holiday season. Maybe like, oh, I just found out that they're putting out the Kenobi series. Let me get my cousin or my brother a year of Disney Plus. Holiday season gift. There you go. So I think Disney's very cognizant of making money, obviously, and that sort of thing. So why wouldn't you, when you launch, be like, and guess what? Here's a commercial as you start the Mandalorian coming in 2021, 2022. Kenobi, bang. So yeah, I think they will. I think it's going to happen.
Nope. Definitely not going to happen. Yeah, I'm with Lacey on this 100%. I think that's if they did that again, especially if it's Kenobi, that puts a bad marketing spin on Mandalorian. Like Mandalorian isn't good enough. Mandalorian is good enough. Also, it launches in, when was this? November
15th.
Yeah.
Mid-November. Yep.
That is
Right
before
Black
Christmas.
Friday. Yeah.
But I don't see it as something that they're going to try to market it as like, get a whole year for your family member, or something. So I don't really see it as like a push for Christmas type for a gift idea or something.
You guys are wrong. That's okay.
Excuse me. You totally changed the wording of this question. It was at launch. They would announce it as in the day it goes live.
I didn't
You were
say
like,
day of.
a couple
It
days
doesn't
before.
say day of there.
The launch is when the thing starts.
No, around the time of the launch. Yeah.
Go ahead, James.
It does get into some weird
Semantics.
where like a few months later in the time span of this thing's going to be around for probably a decade or more, within a month is like, yeah, that was at launch. But yeah, I understand what you're trying to say, John. I just disagree. I don't think we're going to get Kenobi or another series announcement, especially with Cassian Andor on the way. Like if they were running commercials for new Star Wars shows, it'd be Cassian more likely than.
Well, they haven't started
Mandalorian
filming that
out.
yet. That's what I was thinking. But I
I
understand.
mean, that's fair, but yeah.
Mine's definitely less of a chance of happening than your answer. But
All right. The next question is a Patreon submission. This one's coming from Lieutenant Kyle Baker, which
Cow.
yeah, he probably hates that. He's like,
Every Kyle
I've heard
hates
that
that.
my
I
entire
can't
life.
help it. It's so good.
Yeah, but I do it too. All right, this one's, will the Sith Troopers land a single shot on a main character at all ever in this movie? John, you're going first on this one. Do you think they'll have better aim?
yes. Yep. I think they're changing the game this time, and we're going to get at least one solid shot, like a shoulder shot, a leg shot, or something. Not a kill shot, but someone's getting hit. Maybe even 3PO if he decides he wants to get tough and get in the battle. Maybe he has to get a red arm again, and he takes a red arm from one of those guys. But yeah, I think they will get at least one shot. This is all out war, according to Boyega. These guys are going to hit something.
Man, John putting all his cards on the Sith Troopers, thinking they're the first trooper that's going to change the game. Main point of the story. I'm just kidding. All right, Lacey, what do you think? Are they going to shoot anybody?
I think they will, and I think it's going to be Poe Dameron because in the leaked photos, he has his scarf on his arm bandaging some type of wound.
That's a good point.
You're welcome.
He probably did get shot. My guess is actually no. We talked on Monday about these things, and I was trying to say, as important as I think their existence is, I'm still on the side of I don't think they're going to have like a major role in the movie. They're not going to be that important. Just the fact that they like what they are, we can begin to gather some story elements from that. But I do think that they're probably going to play a role similar to like the Death Troopers in Rogue One. And those guys are good, but not on like a main character. I'm assuming that's what we're talking about, a single shot on a main character. Yeah. So
Didn't they
I'm
kill
gonna
Chirrut?
say no, but
Didn't Death Troopers
No.
kill Chirrut?
An explosion did.
An explosion did, but you might be right. They might have been like, oh, if I just hit the box, that guy's gone.
Yeah.
So, but I'm gonna go with no. I think they're just gonna be like a stationary piece. in the
K2 got
movie.
lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, that's true. Those are regular troopers.
Regular old.
All right. Next question is: will Kylo Ren, maybe you've heard of him, be a Sith in the Rise of Skywalker? John or Lacey, actually, we're going back to you on this one. Start us off. Kylo Ren, is he going to be a Sith?
No. He is not a Sith, and he will
taking
not
me
be
by
a
surprise on
Sith.
that one, Lacey.
I know, like totally out of my wheelhouse. I don't know who I am anymore. No. Kylo Ren will not be a Sith. Bendemption. He's going to
Will
turn
he
into
start as a Sith?
No. Kylo Ren
And
is not
then-
a Sith.
All right. And then be fully redeemed, and I'm just messing with you.
He lost his
All
way.
right.
He's not going to go full Sith and then come back.
Wouldn't that make it a bigger turn?
No, because he has to do terrible, terrible things to become a Sith, doesn't he?
No,
Already
not
has.
really. You have to
Like
make some
Anakin killed-
donations to the church, and
Oh, shut up, John. Like Anakin killed a room of kids to get his eyes to turn red.
That was after he was a Sith. He didn't
was
have to
already
kill a
Darth
room full
Vader.
of kids to become Sith.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think
don't
to
know.
become
No.
Sith, to become Sith, you need a Sith to call you Darth something. I think that's pretty much it.
So I could just be Darth
Yeah.
Lacey and I'm a Sith.
Darth Gillerin. Yes.
No, a Sith needs to call you Darth Lacey,
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
not call
John,
yourself.
call me.
I'm not a Sith. Well, I might be. I don't know.
All right. Well, John, you may or may not be a Sith, but will Kylo Ren be a Sith in The Rise of Skywalker?
Of course he will.
Ugh.
It's already in a canon cartoon that he's a Sith, and in the Galaxy of Adventures Jedi vs. Sith, he's featured as the main person in it. So unless
Really
they're lying to
pushing
us in a
this.
canon animated show, he's gonna be a Sith, and they're telling us point blank. Star Wars is simple, folks, and they're telling it right to your face. This guy's gonna be a Sith in Episode 9. He's a very passionate person. He wanted to finish what Darth Vader started. Darth Vader was a Sith. This kid wanted to be a Sith. I don't care what he said in the throne room to try to coax Rey onto his side. He wants to be a Sith. He's a Sith fanboy. He always has been. He has their posters on his wall in his room. Kylo Ren's going to be a Sith in Episode 9, and it's going to trigger a lot of things that involve Palpatine.
You know what stuck out to me this week, actually, is that Daisy Ridley's been doing all these videos and interviews and stuff for Ophelia, and naturally Star Wars stuff comes up. We've talked about this a little bit. She did this video for, I believe it was Bustle or Vogue, one of the two. And they brought up people on the screen of who she's associated with, and they brought up Adam Driver's picture, and she said, "Grumpy Dark Lord." And then
Dark Lord.
yeah, and then moved on to the next thing.
I
and
saw
I was
that.
like, no.
Yeah.
So she called him Grumpy Dark Lord.
Hmm.
I'm not helping my case, but
He's
a bit of a grumpy
Dark Lord.
Yeah, I know
Grumpy
it's just a
Dark Lord.
throwaway comment, but you know how we do. We're like, ooh, that's very telling of the story.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's a very specific name. Like she could have said anything,
Yeah.
and that's what she chose. And I was like, aw.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. For me personally, I think that I think it would be a really easy way for them to be like, yeah, Star Wars, he's a Sith and stuff. But I said this last Monday. I think JJ's going to stick to what he wanted to do. He wanted to keep that intact, that the Sith were dead. So even though these guys were dark side users or whatever, he wanted to make it very clear that they weren't Sith, so that it held the story of like Darth Vader actually did destroy and defeat the Sith. And so bringing him back wouldn't be like if Rian Johnson did it, I'd be like, okay, but that's not what JJ was setting something up. Rian Johnson went a different direction, but this is JJ contradicting his own thing. So I think that JJ wants to stick with it. And I do not think that Kylo Ren will be a Sith.
Way to go, James.
All right, we're doing another Patreon submission. Will
You
the
guys
Force
are
question?
boring. Let me tell you. Take a chance for
Boring.
Jeez.
Boo! All right, this one's coming in from General Len Brown. No boo on Len.
Why are you booing Len, man?
Yeah, his question is: will Sheevy Babes, aka Palpatine, have a new apprentice in the Rise of Skywalker? John, you love
man.
the Sheevy Babes.
I do,
Do you
yeah.
think there's any chance that he is going to dub himself a new apprentice in Episode 9?
Man, that's tough. I'm gonna say no. Only
I'm laughing
because
because you wrote, or no, oh, actually, Len wrote the question. I was thinking you wrote it.
no. I mean, you're really anti-Len.
That's
in
a
this
tough
segment.
question, John.
You're so anti-Len right now.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no because I think that would really complicate things if we're going with the potential Sith angle with Kylo Ren, and rule of two, that type of thing. So my instinct says no, but my wild side on Will of the Force this week wants to say yes, but I'm gonna be boring like you guys this time and say no.
All right, Lacey, are you going to be boring like me and say no?
I'm going to say no, but I think Palpatine will have henchmen.
Henchmen?
Henchmen?
Mm-hmm. Not an apprentice, henchmen.
Like Dr. Claw had henchmen?
Like those guys that do his dirty work for him.
Like
but
Rocksteady
not
and Bebop?
apprentices. Whatever, no, he won't have an apprentice, John.
I'm just naming henchmen. Like Bob from Batman?
What? What are
People
you
know
talking
who I'm
about?
talking about. Famous henchmen. They're over time in comic and geek culture. Name other famous henchmen out there in the comments. Thanks.
James, please save us.
I'm with you more, Lacey, than you think, but I'm not exactly henchman. I can't remember his name off the top, but in Rogue One and in Rebels, there were some like kind of dark side religious followers
Acolytes?
that were kind of
Like
aides.
disciples?
What?
The acolytes?
No, not the acolytes. But you remember the old trailer, and we're like, oh, who's kneeling in front of that Bacta tank?
Yeah.
And it ended up being, I think his name's like, I know this is the DJ, but like Avicii or something. I think his name was something close to that. I can't think of what it is, but I think that they're not so much henchmen and not so much apprentices, but I think there could be people there that are worshipers or followers, or they're there to be inspired by. They believe in him. They look up to him or something. I wouldn't really call him like students because he's not like teaching them to be the next generation of something.
Like Death Eaters.
But yeah, in Rogue One, like the novel and a couple other things around that area on Jeddah, there are even people there that like they worship the religion of death. Like they worship death and they believe in it and believe it's like something bigger than, the Force and everything. So I could see there being people in this world that just like worship Palpatine to a specific degree, and I think they could be hanging around as like crazies,
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. That's a tricky question, but I think all of us are going with no on this one, right? That he won't have an apprentice.
Ding.
That is correct.
Ding, ding, ding. What's that? Oh, Rocky 2.
Rocky
like
3.
The bell. Is it 3?
Yeah.
Ding, ding. Yeah.
You want to ring the bell?
All right. This last one is a good one. Will the bad reviews for Jon Favreau's The Lion King create concerns about The Mandalorian over the next 4 months? And this is assuming that it hasn't gone up from 58% Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe when more fans see it, it does go up. But 58% Rotten Tomatoes, that's not looking that good. Lacey, you were one of the first people to like kind of share this when Rotten Tomatoes went up, and it's not good reviews for Lion King right now. Do you think this is going to affect Jon Favreau as a filmmaker, specifically The Mandalorian?
No, because I think it's the project. I don't think it's Jon Favreau. I know everyone's like, oh, well, there's no creative vision that tied it all together, but it's literally a retelling of the same story. So I don't know what people were expecting when they were like, we're redoing The Lion King. And everyone's like, well, it's not really creative. And it's like, okay, but it's the same story again. But no, because we've seen what The Mandalorian's bringing to the table. We've seen sneak peeks of it. We've seen behind the scenes stuff. At the trailer or at the panel at Celebration. And guys, for the people that weren't in the room, it is incredible what he's doing with The Mandalorian. And there's so much love and passion that is going into it. And why are you laughing?
Because you're using all my JJ keywords.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
It's a passion project.
It's incredible.
Well, I'm just saying because Jon Favreau wasn't writing fan stories about The Lion King in 7th grade, but he was writing it about Star Wars. So there's a certain type of care that's being taken with The Mandalorian that differs from The Lion King. And not to mention, these two projects are kind of working at the same time simultaneously. Maybe more of his attention was on The Mandalorian than The Lion King. So, no, I don't think that affects anything.
John, what do you think?
I don't think it will create concerns for The Mandalorian. Just for the main reason being that Jon Favreau has been, 95% hit, 5% miss in his career. And for me, that's dating back to 1996 with Swingers. Like, I've been a huge Favreau fan. I think his overall resume speaks for itself. So people not liking The Lion King, whatever. I don't think that's going to apply to The Mandalorian in any way. I mean, you may get some people who try to troll and say, like, look, this is your boy now, Disney, and look what he did to The Lion King, blah, blah, blah. But real fans and real people and out there, I don't think Star Wars fans are going to worry too much. I think people are actually, overall, even people who didn't like The Last Jedi, I think The Mandalorian is uniting a lot of people. And I don't think it will create concerns. So, no.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I don't think that one film tarnishes a great director or filmmaker. Usually will this movie that Steven Spielberg was a part of ruin his name? Like, no, not really. This guy's been doing a really good job with a lot of movies, and I think if anything, the negative things around The Lion King are about, I don't know, like how it shaped up as the fact that it's only a retelling. I don't think any they didn't do anything new with it, and that's the complaint and stuff. And also, I think Disney had it in mind what they wanted to do with this. It wasn't even Jon Favreau. They were just like, hey, we want to do it, like a shot for shot thing. We want it to be like this. And Jon Favreau was targeted because of his ability in special effects to bring animals to life. Like, that was the reason he was hired. Is like, hey, we want you to do Jungle Book. Oh, you nailed it. All right, cool. We think you're the guy that could do our beloved other animal project to life. Mm-hmm. It wasn't because he was going to do something new and creative that they had faith in. It was totally, I think he's good, but he's good in the sense that like he can handle it. He's like a Ron Howard, like he's a safe choice for a story director, but we're really utilizing him for the special effects. And I think most people know that, Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be any problem with that. And that officially wraps up the actual bringing back of Will of the Force this week. We got some more stuff to talk about, but we are first, before we get to our major discussion, we're gonna do the Patreon pod race. This is our chance for our generals who donate via Patreon to get a chance to talk on the podcast and have a little bit of a spotlight as one of our generals, Jeremy Myers, has been to Galaxy's Edge a lot. So we wanted to reach out to him and ask, is there anything that you enjoyed about the park or what was really surprising? What's it like being there in person? We just kind of want to give him a little bit of chance. So here's Jeremy with that.
Hey everybody, it's General Jeremy out here in the beautiful Almond Mining Guild of sunny California. What was the most surprising thing at Galaxy's Edge? It was by far the best Disney experience I personally went through. My daughter and I standing under the Millennium Falcon and both just realizing how massive it was in front of us. Getting to build my own lightsaber. Gotta say, if you get the chance, you gotta get there and experience it. The Force is extremely strong there. Allowed me to get the courage to propose to my girlfriend. If you haven't been yet, get there, experience everything that Galaxy's Edge has to offer. All right, guys. Thanks again for the opportunity. It's General Jeremy out.
All right. Yeah, man, I'm so envious of Jeremy. He's been there a few times already, and it's just so crazy to me that I don't know. There's like people be like, "This is my 5th time."
I think Jeremy,
and I'm
Jeremy's canon now at this point, I think.
yeah, I believe so. Like
It's his cantina now.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Jeremy's
All the new
cantina.
novels are going to mention him as a bar goer.
And who doesn't love? He got engaged.
Yes, that's crazy.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
I wonder, do you think that's the first ever was that the first ever engagement
No.
at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge?
No, there were a bunch.
Oh. Sorry, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeremy. Not that yours wasn't magical and wonderful. I'm just saying
Yours
there
was
were
the
a bunch.
best though, Jeremy. How
Yes,
about that?
it was.
Yeah. Jeremy, yours was the 50th ever.
But the best. No, I like what you had to say. I'm excited to go and check it out. I think, when you were trying to get into surprises, you said you were surprised at how big the Falcon was, even though being a big Star Wars fan, you know how big the Falcon is, but seeing it in person made it into an even bigger perspective. So I'm all about that. So you sold me there.
Lacey, anything?
Jeremy, how fast does your tractor go? That's what I want to know. No, but I'm
Light speed.
I'm so jealous that you've gotten to go to Galaxy's Edge so much because we all haven't been there yet. But I am also super excited that you got to go because I just love seeing everybody's reaction to how awesome it is and how cool it is to be a Star Wars fan right now. And you are a prime example. So thank you for sharing your wonderful insights.
I've heard that Jeremy's tractor can do the crop run in less than 12 parsecs. So I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that's the rumor going on.
I'm so sorry, Jeremy.
You asked the question, I answer it.
All right, guys, we're going to head into this week's discussion. I am very excited about this discussion. I have to ask John. John? Oh, I messed up. I was going to say, you are two, I would assume, and it didn't work out. I was going to say something different.
Who's trying so hard with the dad jokes now?
Because I had it in my head, and then for some reason when I spoke it out loud, it didn't line up.
You're both terrible. Let's just do this.
God. Good Lord. All right.
Obi-Wan once thought as you do.
Will R2D2 have an important role in the Rise of Skywalker? Now, this kind of spawned from the fact that R2D2 is arguably the most heroic and important character spanning the entire Star Wars episodic saga from Episode 1 through Return of the Jedi, though he has been on the sidelines a bit for the sequel trilogy, and now in the early marketing for the Rise of Skywalker, we've seen a leaked poster, which now we believe is true. We've seen the mural at Star Wars Celebration. We've seen a teaser and other stuff in the mix here, and he is missing completely from everything, not even in a little bit of a corner or anything. He is gone. And so where is he? Where is R2D2? So is he being saved for the film in a big way, or will he continue to sit on the sidelines while BB-8, D-O, and even 3PO take the droid spotlight in the final movie? So let's talk about it, guys. Where is R2D2? I wanted to get this conversation going because, one, I'm obviously a huge R2D2 fan. He's a huge part of this saga. This is the final one of the Skywalker saga. He belonged to Luke for a very long time. I just think it's weird he's missing, so it makes me think that J.J. Abrams is hiding him for a reason and that he'll have a bigger role than we expected heading into Episode 9. So that's where I'm coming from. So why don't you guys let me know where you're at with this? Why is he missing right now from everything we've seen so far? And do you think he'll have an impactful role in this final movie?
James, why don't you go?
No, you always tell me to go first.
I went first last time.
Did you?
Yes.
I just went first.
Yeah.
Who wants to go second?
I think...
Who talks first? You talk first. I talk first.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Which, by the way, it was. I'm excited for the discussion, and I assume you are too. And I don't know what I was like. It didn't come out, and I'm like, dang it! All right, got that out of the way. For R2, I do think it's weird that he's suspiciously missing from artwork and stuff. That does seem strange to me because even when he's in the movie for a little bit, they do seem to like stick him somewhere. And I don't know. I don't personally think I'm like as big of an R2 fan as a lot of people are. I think of him as a character, but in a lot of ways, I hate saying it, but like he isn't alive. Like he's there and he's a droid and I love him for what he is, but I don't think of him as like, I don't know. I'm not as attached to R2 as a lot of people are. And so I kind of understand when someone would be like, let's have the droids here, but like we really want to put focus and make people fall in love with these other droids. I kind of understand that. But the thing that does make me feel really weird about the situation is like the fact that he seems to be covered up more than C-3PO. And why would they give C-3PO a bunch of spotlight and not R2-D2? And that seems to have been the case for the film so far. And it does seem odd to me. I don't really know what to think. Like, why would they just totally eliminate him? That can't be the case. You can't have The Rise of Skywalker and just R2 wasn't in it.
Yeah, I have to agree, but there is something fishy going on that you have the one droid that's kind of the constant in all now 9 movies, and he hasn't really been in the sequel trilogy except for to give the plans where Luke Skywalker is, and then just is there. And then so why isn't he in any of the promotion materials? He's not in the trailers, he's not in the behind the scenes stuff, he's not in any pictures, he's not anywhere. So where is he? So I'm totally with John that there's something going on, because why would you just hide him? Especially a character that's so important to Star Wars.
And
so where's he at right now?
Well, we don't know.
We don't know.
He was on the Falcon
with
at
the beacon.
End. And no, he was on the Falcon at the end.
So that at least clarifies something for me. Was he like left on Octu?
No.
So he did in fact get on the Falcon, and we never saw a shot of like, we saw the freaking Porg slamming up against the window like a cartoon character.
Well, remember we saw the Porgs
no
on his
R2
head,
like sliding in the back.
No, he's looking for the beacon. He's using himself to look for the beacon with the systems of the Falcon.
Yeah, and then when we left off, he was in that final group shot before they went to Broom Kid.
Right.
He was there. So now, we're jumping a year or whatever. So one thing I was thinking about also, do you remember when Rian Johnson asked JJ to switch BB-8 and R2? Because originally JJ was going to have BB-8 go with Rey and Chewie to Octo, and Ryan said, "Can you make it R2?"
Right.
They filmed the scene with Luke and R2, and it showed Luke like reminding like, oh, that was a cheap move, and he showed him the Leia thing. But what if also there's something else here? Because we know J.J. Abrams was executive producer with 8. He was just as involved as Ryan, working with him at the end of 7, and you got to figure maybe J.J., being executive producer was like, how about this, even though he didn't know he was doing 9 yet. He was still executive producer, so you are involved in some capacity. What if it turns out Luke recorded some kind of message in R2 that we didn't see happen, and we see that projected to Leia or Rey or something in episode 9. So that's another way to get Luke in episode 9, even though he died, besides your Force Ghost scene. Is that a possibility?
Oh,
I like
didn't
that.
Even think of that.
Yeah.
Like
that he carries that final message or whatever.
Yeah.
I still hope, even if that was the case, and I could see that scene being really cool and really emotional, but like, I hope that it's more than just that, because
right.
Because
think like Galen Erso, who we only knew for one movie and a book, that emotional message that he left for Jyn, and we all felt it. She's crying. Imagine that times 1 billion when it's Luke leaving a message for Leia or Rey, or, that could be a really emotional scene if R2 has that type of thing. Now, again, that's just a wild, just guess, speculation. There's nothing factual about that, but those two were there in the Falcon, and the scene ended, and it's possible he did it. Because that's another way for JJ to get Luke in episode
What if
9.
that's what we hear in the trailer? Is the message from R2?
I like that. I like that too. That
I
would
like that
be-
better than Force Ghost, to be honest. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, I think he will be a Force Ghost because he kind of already said, I get to
Yeah.
come back and have my
Yeah.
final curtain call.
Yeah.
But I think that would be great. I think that would be perfect right there. Those quotes, and maybe Leia's there watching with her to add a little emotional weight to it. And you could easily put Carrie there without her having to speak, right? And maybe that's why they have that hug on the thing. So, I mean, that's all very possible. So I think that's one thing. But I also think, maybe there's something else, that's involving R2 here in this movie as well.
What if he records a message to Rey and the message is about the Death Star and about what he's found through the years about Palpatine?
I mean, that's very
I like that
possible
too.
too, because he did go looking for artifacts
Right.
and that sort of thing.
Like, what if he's telling her, hey, I'm not going to be able to finish this. You need to. Here's what you need to know to move forward in this adventure.
It would be a good flip on the parallels between the brother and sister, because in the first Star Wars movie, Leia said, I've put everything in this R2 unit.
Yes.
And now what if Luke is putting everything in the R2 unit for them?
Yeah.
Man, I friggin' love bookends. I would love that.
Book it.
I don't know. That seems to me like something that they could do. He could do as a Force Ghost.
I would rather see it as an R2 message just for the reason
Yeah.
that John just said.
Yeah.
So like
John, you better
hologram
tweet
comes
that
up
out.
and he says,
I should
what
tweet
you
it
need
out,
to
yeah.
do, Ray, is you need to go to the original
Gotta
Death Star.
timestamp
There
it.
you'll find a blank, right? But wouldn't she just be able to be like, a what? Luke, come and answer this question for me.
Yeah, but I don't think it's always like that. Like, Force Ghosts aren't like, oh, my phone's ringing. Hello? Oh, hello. Yeah, how are you? Okay.
What voice is this?
Okay, I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
I think they only arrive when they're needed. I don't think it's the same thing. And
Yeah.
I honestly don't think they're going to play up the Force Ghost as much as everybody thinks they are. I think it's going to be something, if it even happens, it's going to be short and sweet and towards the
Yeah.
end. This is something that she could be like down on her luck, like I have no idea what's going on, and then R2 gives her what she needs to move forward.
I agree. You're going to get maybe one, maybe two Force Ghost scenes with Luke. One will be at the very end of the movie, where it's the last wave or whatever.
Yeah.
But you have the other ways for him to be involved. A flashback scene, which I think will happen, without a doubt.
This could be a flashback necessarily, like kind of, if he recorded this while on Octo.
Right. It could be him. I don't think they're going to show him recording it. I think they'll just show him showing the message. But
Well, that's
think
what I
there-
mean.
Yeah, I think there will be a flashback scene from maybe the Academy, or even if, like I said, my hope that you see Harrison Ford back and Carrie and somehow Hamill all together, like talking about Ben or something. I don't know. So you have a flashback potential. You have R2 giving a message, and you have a Force Ghost, so you can get Luke in this movie. I'm not trying to steer the conversation to Luke, but R2 is so tied with Luke, it's hard to not do it.
Yeah.
That's how you can get Luke in this movie as much as you can, and maybe without overdoing the Force Ghost thing. But again, these are all things that are connected to how R2 can get Luke involved, but the other things he can possibly do, because he has also been the savior of the rebellion, of the Republic, of whatever.
Isn't he in the
countless
Vogue
times.
picture?
He's in the one with Luke standing there, and he's
Right,
next
but
to
that's
him.
the first time we've seen him.
Yeah, but it's like that's old, like
Yeah.
pre-episode 9.
Yeah.
So he's there then, but we haven't seen him in like now.
Right. So why are they not showing him in any present day stuff?
That's what
the
I'm
question.
saying. So there's something. I think there really is something going on here.
You mean
And
episode
I find
8 even, right?
What do you mean?
I mean, he's not really in any promotional stuff.
Well, because
Yeah.
the image that we got of Luke in Vogue, right?
it's not Vogue.
Was it Vogue?
Vanity
Vanity
Fair.
Fair.
Sorry, Vanity
Vanity
Fair.
Fair.
The image that we got of him in Vanity Fair was not a Force Ghost, was it?
No.
Well, we don't know what it was.
Yeah. So he's standing there, and so you're saying that if Luke and R2 are together because R2 left on the ship, that would have to be when he was alive. So that would be pre-episode 8. Or like during episode 8
I think that
or
was
something.
between like TFA and episode 8, or I don't know, it was like something. I don't know when.
A
Well, he wasn't
flashback,
there
you
in
said.
TFA.
Or I should say even before TFA, maybe that's him with R2.
Temple
like
burning down,
Post Academy. Yeah, we don't know. And also, it could just be some of those images are never used. So
It's
that
true.
could be just here's an awesome photo of
Yeah.
Mark Hamill and R2. But
And I think that's likely too.
I think it's just really important that people are overlooking R2D2 here. Like all fans, no one's talking about R2D2 right now. And he is completely missing. And to me, there's something there. Something is going on. And
What am
it's going to be surprising to many, I think.
What am I trying to remember? There's something like, maybe it's a fan theory and I'm maybe going crazy, but something with like when R2 was he plugged into the Death Star terminal in order to stop the trash compactor, but he also did like some other stuff. Is this a fan theory or something? Like he collected some sort of data that he then was able to use later.
He downloaded, I think, all like the Empire archives.
And so I'm sitting there thinking, okay, so now if that's true, I can't remember if that's like a canon fact from a book or something, but or was it from a certain point of view? Maybe
I don't recall.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, the point is that now maybe if that's the case, then R2 has actual information about the Death Star. Now, granted, that's the Death Star 1 versus the Death Star 2, which we think is likely that one, but maybe there's some sort of like connection and they could be like, well, we don't know anything about that old ship. And it's like, actually, R2 has the entire archives in him.
Oh, yeah,
So he could be our key to how to break in.
And James, what about that empty space on that photo of them overlooking the Death Star? What if that's R2 there?
Yeah. You know that rock?
Yeah,
that
that
rock
rock.
ain't making the final cut, baby.
No, but there's so many things that we can theorize, and I think all of these ideas are great. And actually, I feel like because we didn't brainstorm this or discuss this before, so this is us live having this chat here. Now, like my idea and Lacey saying, well, what if that's Luke's voiceover in the message that he records in R2? And like all these things, I like all these ideas. I think these all make sense. It could be as big as that, but he's missing for a reason. It's a deliberate reason. It wasn't, oh, we forgot R2D2 on the poster. Oh, we forgot him in the teaser. Oh, he's not in the mural. Oh, he's not here. He's purposely being omitted. And to me, there's a reason for it. You don't add another new droid, this stupid pizza cutter, Dio, and I'm sorry if he's awesome. I really just couldn't care less about a new droid. I'm sorry.
What if he's the MacGuffin, R2?
I mean, yeah, who knows? But you don't add a new droid and then omit R2D2. So they're adding this droid, but also R2D2 is going to have some kind of impact here. I just don't know what it is. And like, it could be as big as him being a MacGuffin. It could be as small as him delivering an awesome emotional message at the beginning of the movie. There's something going on here and fans are overlooking it. Like nobody is talking about R2 and I'm really interested. I'm very interested in what's going on.
So I didn't say it earlier. I was kind of thinking it never really made its way out, but also another version of what he could be doing is telling Rey more of the story of what happened that night. Like he might actually have some sort of recollection of, recording or something that was actually like maybe a message from Luke that was like
from the
right
temple?
after the temple burn or something like that. Like we finally get to see what happens there. Maybe it's like she asks R2 and he starts to play it and then like they, get closer and closer and then like the hologram becomes life and they do like this transition
I like that
to a
idea
flashback
too.
or something.
Did they ever explain, James, real quick, not to interrupt, but why R2 was with Luke back then? Was it just because he was his droid? Is it that simple?
I don't think they've ever explained it.
Oh, okay.
I think that just, he was there. Gosh,
I know
think
his plans
that it
are-
is required to fly an X-Wing with a droid. So in order to fly to Octo, he would have had to take a droid.
But he was with him during the Academy burning too, because he's hand on him with the fire and he kneeled down next to him. So.
Yeah, but I forgot. I was thinking those were in the same place.
Right.
That actually makes me wonder, what happened to the droid on Octo? He must have disassembled him, decommissioned him or something. And he's somewhere around, or he's down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Or he's got to ride out of there somehow.
Or he made a grill out of him or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Why he's with them, it's got to just be because they were pals. I guess
so. You don't need to explain everything. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I think, though, that when you look at TFA, which obviously JJ did, that shot of him putting his hand on R2 is so specific. And I know it's like to be like, oh, look, it's the metal hand, it's Luke. But why did he... I remember seeing that and being like, why did he put his hand on R2 like that?
Yeah, I think it's an emotional moment.
Yeah, it's crazy because looking back, we've talked with the guys at Black Series Rebels about this. Like, some of those specific trailers for The Force Awakens, like, didn't really deliver as much as, you know, they let on, which is this whole idea of like one of the first shots you see is like this, it like fades in and it's R2-D2 and there's fire and then the hand touches him, you know, and it's like, the words that are being said, it's like there's so much like, oh, this is the old Star Wars being brought into now, and it's like we didn't get that. We got Rey and Finn and Poe, which is fine. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying some of those trailers really made you feel like, oh, this is going to be where is R2 at now?
Right.
Where is Luke at now? And it's like we didn't get those, especially in The Force Awakens.
I'm thinking more than that, though, because if he put the information on him of where Luke could be, what other information has Luke put on R2?
Yeah, I think that's certainly a thing. But I also think because
it's a mobile draft folder for Star Wars.
because
cloud drive.
JJ didn't know that he was coming back. I think we almost have to keep it here with the Rise of Skywalker because he can try to go back and fill gaps from TFA. But
you have to think that he also set stuff up thinking that the next person would carry it on.
Yeah, I understand that. It's just I'm trying to, like, when I just think of the question, because to me it's completely deliberate. Why would J.J. Abrams be omitting R2-D2 from everything right now?
Because he's a Star Wars mystery box.
No, but I mean, like, well, yeah, I know that. But what's the mystery, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like, why would he omit him? It wouldn't be because he's going to pop up in a cameo at the end and while they're holding the globe and doing the celebration.
Do you think that it's deliberate, or do you think it just so happens to be that anywhere it's like, say R2-D2 is like in this movie a lot, but for whatever reason, the scenes that they show, he just happens to not be in.
But it's not just the scenes they show, man. That poster has everything on it. It even has that slug new alien on it.
Claude.
It has Zori, it has Janna, it has Sith Troopers, Stormtroopers, Kylo Ren, Rey, C-3PO,
Dorito,
Chewbacca,
TIE fighters,
everything, but not R2-D2. Someone made a deliberate decision to not include him on that poster.
Maybe because he's not in the movie,
well,
or very, very little.
You know that's
very
not true.
sad.
You know that's not true.
That's a weird thing, but man, I don't know. I've said before that I don't know that R2-D2 and C-3PO are going to have big roles in this movie, and because I think JJ focuses on his story and his characters, and I don't know. The only thing that gets really weird is the fact that we've seen C-3PO like 6 times already.
Yeah,
and
it's like, why is C-3PO on that barge with them, you know, like holding onto the pole, and they're like flying around. R2-D2 could be there. It's not like he wasn't at Tatooine when they were trying to get Han out of Jabba's area.
So
like, he can be there.
What's your first instinct answer to that question then? Why would they purposely be omitting R2-D2 from all this stuff right now?
My gut instinct, like just right away, it's because he's not there. He's left out. They wrote him out.
That's a zero option for me. There's no way they're writing R2D2 out of the final movie in the Skywalker saga. So.
I agree with you. And coming out of the movie, I would be pretty disappointed if he wasn't there in some way. And I really honestly feel like the way he's going to be there is they're going to be like, oh, the final scene, like, oh, we're all here together.
They
kind of like what they did in Last Jedi.
They couldn't come to contract terms with R2D2 for episode 9, so he doesn't show up in the movie.
I mean, if you think about it, in 2015 for The Force Awakens, they brought R2D2 out with BB-8. And then in this panel for Celebration this year, they didn't bring R2 out.
Yeah, because it was a handing off of the torch. Here's your new droid.
Mm-hmm. Right. My gut
R2D2
reaction
got put on the shelf.
Right. My gut reaction, John, is that they're pushing BB-8 and Dio as J.J. Abrams' big droids. That's my gut reaction.
No, you know what it is? I just realized what it is. John, you know when you said they couldn't come in a contract deal with R2D2? Mm-hmm. They are in a contract deal with Anthony Daniels. He is a living person who says, no, I'm in these movies and they're going to stick them in some way or another. Yeah. But that's not what JJ and the storytellers of this new sequel trilogy want to do. They want to, like Lacey was saying just a second ago, they want to push their droids big, but they still have if C-3PO was a beep, beep, bloop, bloop robot, just like R2, he would have been long shelved same.
I think you guys are flying way off true north here. I really do. And maybe you're just
I'm just telling you my initial gut reaction.
Yeah. My initial gut reaction is the exact opposite. I mean, I everything I've heard from people is that this movie is going to be so loaded with fan service. It's going to be coming out of our ears. How do you do that? You get all these droids involved. Now, I think BB-8 and this new droid will be involved. Sure. They'll be part of the adventure, whatever. I don't think they're going to hinder an appearance, an impactful one by R2D2. I am fully on board that R2 is being purposely omitted right now. And maybe at D23, we see a behind the scenes reel and he's in all 4 minutes of it. Maybe. I doubt it. But there's something going on here. And call me crazy. I don't know. What do you guys think out there in the comments? Why would they're obviously purposely omitting him. Why would they be doing it other than JJ's like, that's my ace. That's my Sabak card in my little metal sleeve here. I'm going to dish them out. And when people see the Rise of Skywalker, they're going to be like, oh my God. Or in the final trailer, you see R2D2 do something. I don't know.
See, in a weird way, I think when you talk like if he shows up they show 4 minutes at D23 and he's in all 4 of them and it's like his thing, right? I think that's them going, here you go, munch on this. This is the one R2D2 scene in the movie.
Right. That was just me kind of saying like them spoiling my whole thing that they're hiding him. Right?
Yeah.
But to me, I mean, am I crazy? I mean, it seems to me that they're purposely leaving him out.
It's a very specific choice. I mean, anytime you make some type of graphic for anything marketing-wise, you're choosing every single thing on there. And that's coming from my own experience of working with companies like, you know, Lucasfilm or AMC with Walking Dead or anything like that. They give you art, and then when you make a social image or any type of image newsletter, if you cut someone out, they'll come back to you and say, don't cut that person out. Or they'll say, use this, but don't use this. So everything.
I'm going to look at the posters real quick and see if he's on them from TFA and TLJ. Hang on. Just keep talking.
I don't think he's in Last Jedi. James, you have it right behind you. Is he on the Last Jedi poster?
That's a different poster. He is on that poster.
He is on it?
Yeah. C-3PO and C-3PO's got his hand on R2-D2, which I believe never happens in the movie. Yeah.
All right, he's in both.
Yeah.
He's in the TFA poster and he's in at least the Paul Shipper Dolby The Last Jedi poster. He's there too.
Here's the other thing too is that poster,
and he was barely in those
movies. As it is, was never the official poster. So if he's not on the official poster, then this discussion, we're back at square one, right? But if he is on the official poster, then we've got...
I don't think he is. I don't think he was on the Last Jedi official poster.
No, he's saying if he's going to be on the 9 official poster.
On the 9 official poster. Because the one that we're discussing, saying he's not on the poster, is an unofficial poster, even though it totally was official, but you know what I mean. It's and people are saying could have been like... it could have been leaked right before the day he was like, all right, now how am I going to stick in these other characters?
Right.
You know?
And
Right,
people,
right.
people were saying that they
like, well,
think
forget
that that poster is not necessarily a theatrical poster, but perhaps a end of an aisle marketing
Right, display.
Yeah,
display.
sure. Yeah.
So
Toy
they're not
display.
going to be. Why wouldn't you add him to that? Like, there's just
No,
something
I'm saying,
so
but
weird
we
to
don't
me.
we don't know anything about that poster. It being a leak,
Yeah.
like I said, that could have been a poster in the middle of being made, and they're still shifting characters around. That's why Claude's popping out the side. They're like, I don't know, figure him
And
out later.
JJ did 3 cuts of the teaser. Maybe in the other 2 he appears. I bet he didn't, but he's not in the teaser. He's not. He wasn't on
Yeah.
that mural at Celebration.
And he's such a central character to Star Wars. Like anybody who's anyone that knows something about Star Wars knows who R2D2 is.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But that didn't change The Force Awakens, and that didn't change The Last Jedi.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
But this is the final shebang, and now he's nowhere to be found. And he was all over the marketing for the other 2. So I don't know. But do you guys have final thoughts on this? We should wrap it up. Wrap up the discussion, then move on to the other stuff.
I don't know that I have final thoughts. I know I started this with like saying like, you know, R2 doesn't really mean that much to me or whatever. I'm not necessarily trying to say that. I was trying to say I've never fully connected with him. Yeah. But I do understand his importance, and the fact that they're moving him out, in my opinion, seems like a shame, you know? Like, I think he should be there, and he hasn't been there the last 2 movies, but this is either, it could go one of 2 ways. Like they're saying, sorry, we're going to remedy this and we're going to bring him back. But I'm getting the vibe that that's not what they're wanting to do, and that it's more likely that they would be like, we're going to put him in there because we have to put him in there because he's R2D2. But in no way, shape, or form are we going to write this story around him or try to fit him in there when we have an idea that doesn't involve him and no shoehorning, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think initially my response, like I said, my gut reaction is, oh, they're just trying to bring in BB-8 and the newer droids because those are what Disney is kind of ushering in as the new era going into these other movies and other media. But I mean, talking through this with you guys, I really do think that they're leaving him out for a specific reason, because everything is so, when you're doing marketing from posters to press releases to all this other stuff, you choose every single thing that's on there. Nothing is a mistake. Nothing is an accident. Everything has been gone through like 20 drafts with different people signing off on everything. Everybody gets it signed off by like 10 people. Yep. So I can't think that they aren't, oh, let's just leave him off. Like that can't just be a thought that crosses someone's mind. It's very specific. So I do think he's going to play some type of role in the last movie, especially because he's been such a central role in all the other movies. Like he's such a specific character.
Yeah.
And I really stick by what I thought through, which was that the message from Luke is in the trailer is coming from R2D2.
So yeah, I think he's being left out on purpose, and I could see something where Luke recorded a message for Rey or Leia in the Falcon when he met R2 on Octo in The Last Jedi, and then he projects that. I think there may be other ways that he can be involved, as big as being a MacGuffin or as small as he's delivering a message, but I think he's clearly being left out for a reason. So let us know in the comments what you guys think. Where is R2? Why is he being purposely left out of all this stuff? Do you think there's a bigger reason to it, or are they just leaving him out? Let us know, and we can't wait to hear what you guys think. We hope you enjoyed this discussion. So, oh yeah, so
he is on one of the versions of the poster.
Oh wow!
C-3PO, BB-8, R2-D2, and Dio. On the very bottom. I feel like it was the second version, but
all right. But yeah, let us know, and we'll continue the discussion as we move forward. Where is R2, guys? But right now, we are going to wrap this up and send it to Lacey to get into your tweets in a segment we call Resistance Transmissions. So, Lacey, what do we got this week?
Hey guys, it's time for Resistance Transmissions. So as you guys know, every week John puts up a crazy, wacky situation, and then you guys give your answers, and then I read them live. I haven't read these before, so we'll see what reaction you guys get. All right, so the situation is the First Order is throwing Supreme Leader Kylo Ren a birthday party. What are some of the things they think he would want at his party, from guests, decorations, food, games, etc.?
Interesting.
I love that John knows what the situation is, so he's like waiting to see what I'll say. Okay. First is Joshua B. at Darth Glucosa, and he says, Kylo says, I said I don't want a birthday party. Birthdays have no place in this story. They're nothing. Forget the past. It's time to let old things die.
I can see him saying that.
Oh, man.
I could see him saying that too. All right. Next is Charlie Skywalker at D. Blake Jr. 7. And he said, Matt, the radar technician, should be on the guest list.
He would have to, I guess, by default.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By the way, Charlie Skywalker, like, I wish there was more like names like that, like a Charlie in Star Wars.
Yeah, that's cool. Next is Damon Juan Kenobi at Damon Juan Kenobi.
Way to get your handle.
And he says, definitely no sweets. Dude is shredded. He has an 8-pack. Or so I've heard.
Another SNL reference?
Yeah,
Yes.
lots of radar technician jokes.
Yeah. Next is Mandalorian Mark at Mark Mandalorian. And he said, pin the saber on the Han game.
Ooh. Is that too soon?
It's been a while. It's fair game.
Poor
It's
Han.
fair.
It's been a while. It's fair game.
It's fair game. Up next is Scotty J-Ro at the Scott J-Ro. And he says, a hashtag make Solo 2 happen shirt.
Nice.
Kylo would love it.
That's a good one.
Next,
Triple solo shirt.
Yeah. Next is Clara at Clara EPB. And she said, Supreme Leader Snoke's killer. Ooh.
See, you know what? That's a clever answer, because the topic is what does the First Order think he would want? And the First Order thinks Kylo Ren would want his master's killer there so he could kill them, because they don't know that he killed him.
Or that means he wants Rey there. Because he wants Rey at his party.
But it's who the First Order thinks Kylo Ren wants.
But
the party.
Kylo Ren told them it's Rey.
Maybe. I don't know.
Next
Wow.
is Snicked 87 at Summerfield 87. And they said a massive piñata of Uncle Luke for him to bash senseless dressed as his favorite grand pops.
Okay.
So Darth Vader Luke.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next is Danny at Chibigun 89. Chibigun 89.
Hi, Danny.
And she said Kylo would probably want to go on a scavenger hunt. Hey!
Oh, Danny's got Kylo killing Rey. Wow.
I don't think she means that. I think
hunt?
she means he's going to go looking for Rey.
Oh,
Because she's a scavenger.
a hunt.
Yeah.
I think killing, but okay.
I think of Sean Hunter.
What? Next is Aaron Oania. Sorry. At Aaron Oania.
Oh, way to get your handle, Aaron.
Yeah.
Hey.
And Aaron says a Darth Vader voice changer helmet.
That's good. Kylo Ren would probably really like that. Yeah.
And last but not least is pilot number 4 at Odell Adam,
Oh
who
boy,
says
here he is.
a new dad, parentheses, since he killed his old one.
Oh, I don't care if he's a pilot. That Adam, he does send the funny ones.
A new dad.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Guys, thank you for your transmissions. If you want to be on the show, make sure to follow us on Twitter at RBATSWNN. Every week, Johnny here puts up a crazy, wacky situation, and then you give your answers. Most creative, fun, interesting answers get read on the show. Back to you, John.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Resistance Broadcast. If you are new to our podcast and our show, subscribe to us. You can do that on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, or YouTube. Make sure you head to StarWarsNewsNet.com every day for your latest news, reviews, editorials, information, and more. If you'd like one of those fancy Make Solo 2 Happen t-shirts that we've talked about, you can go to tpublic.com/user/resistance broadcast and pick those up on a shirt, sticker, mug, whatever you'd like. And also 40 other designs, mostly all designed by Mr. James Bainey over here. Is that correct, James?
Who?
Yeah, exactly. If you guys want to support us, we have a Patreon page. You can head to patreon.com/resistance broadcast. We have 5 tiers from $2 a month up to $50 a month, which is the general level, the elite level. And I do have to send a special thanks to our
It's
generals.
much better than general seating.
Carmelo, aka
general
Grey Jedi, Brian Shalito, Andrew Staley, Len Brown, Neil Lowry, Jeremy Myers, who did a fantastic job on the Patreon Podrace on this episode. So thank you, Jeremy. Neil Shaw, David Probus, and Val Trichkoff. Whew, gotta love that list. Thank you, generals. And thank you to all our Patreon supporters. But yeah, hop over to patreon.com/resistance broadcast. We have new content we're putting up there pretty much every day. Lacey facilitates the page for us. And again, $2 a month gets you in. And as each tier comes up, you get more rewards and fun access and features like that. So check it out, and we appreciate the support. James Bainey, if people would like to chat it up with you on the social medias, where can they get a hold of you?
Well, Twitter and Instagram at Meyer Trunks. And I have one final update on that poster. R2 is on the one that was on at Celebration. He is on the final, the third one.
Oh, he's on the mural?
He is on the mural.
Oh, okay. So I was wrong.
I was
about
able
that.
to find a photo of somebody taking a picture of it. And yes, he is there at the bottom.
Okay, good.
Just throwing it out there. Last final thing. He has shown up in some promotional stuff. So
Good. Lacey, how about you?
People can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lacey Gillerin, where I'm hoping that I would be on the guest list for Kylo Ren's birthday party.
Oh,
Very nice. You'd probably get killed
No? Why would I get killed? What did I do?
because they're evil?
No, I only get killed if I do something to annoy them.
Oh, all right. You guys can find me on Twitter at Johnny Hoey and editing and writing over at StarWarsNewsNet.com. And guess what, guys? Enjoy your weekends. Let us know what you think about R2. What's the deal? What's going on? And then we'll be back, of course, on Monday with another new episode right here on the Resistance Broadcast. Tell your friends. The base is always open. We'll see you on Monday. See you around, kids.